Don't you get it? Don't you guys get it? What's going on right now?
Give it to me. Give it to me.
The offseason has started for the Warriors, and it is going to be absolutely, positively a fireworks show. The offseason is going to be absolutely, it's going to go like this. Boom, 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 boom.
But what are the booms?
Oh, I'm going to tell you what the booms are, and I'm surprised you don't know. I thought you followed the team.
Mancini. Right.
We've got a decision to make on Steve Kerr. We've got to let the Draymond Green situation play out. Does he get a second year? Does he not get a second year? We've got Steph Curry, who wants an extension this offseason. How does that work out? We've got Brandon Podziemski, extension eligible this offseason. We've got Porzingis, a free agent. Is he going to be back? We've got DeAnthony Melton. He's a free agent. Is he going to come back? We've got Al Horford. Is he going to retire? Is he coming back? We've got Jimmy Butler. Status uncertain, but you know what? If you want to think about moving him, that's going to affect Jimmy Butler and, kind of his outlook. And we haven't even talked about any player who the Warriors theoretically may be in on during free agency. No doubt. So this is just the start. This Draymond Green talking about Steve Kerr, the Steve Kerr decision. We're just getting started.
Yeah, and, I know Harry is no longer a part of the show, but my boy Big Dex from the Uni is. And he texted me during the break, and I want to run this by you all, Steiny. What if Draymond Green is at the corner or at the middle of this standoff between Kerr and the FO, the front office?
In what way?
What if Kerr is, I'm fit? Something's got to be done. He's got to be moved. Or vice versa.
Well, there may be something where Kerr's like, if I'm coming back, I want Dre here. If I'm coming back, I don't want Dre here. I got to believe Draymond wants Steve Kerr back if Draymond Green's on the team. But I don't know how Lacob and Dunleavy feel about, keeping Steve, Steph, and Draymond for sure certain together for 2 more years. Maybe that's a year too many for those guys. I don't know, but there's a lot of moving parts, and some of them have to be in sync. And there's no guarantee that after one decision, the next decision is just going to fall the right way.
Yeah, and I'm just, you went over your list, and you got everything itemized. I don't know why the one part of that, Steiny, that I would take off and feel like it's a nothing burger. It's a big burger when it comes to finances and the amounts. But the Steph Curry, I feel like that's going to be easy. And I'm just assuming.
What if Steve's not back?
I mean, the show must go on, right?
But maybe Steve not being here for 2 more years will make Steph Curry say, you know what? I'll sit tight, actually. If Steve's not coaching this year, let me see how it goes, because I know I can always get my contract whenever I want. So, if the Warriors move on from Steve Kerr and Jerry Stackhouse is the next coach, maybe at that point Steph goes, all right, I'll wait to see how this year goes before I sign an extension. So that's what I mean by things are kind of, interlocked. Yeah. Let's go to Christian. Christian's in Fairfield. What's going on, Christian? How you doing, man?
Hey, fellas, y'all cooking this morning, both y'all. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir. Guru, I'm going to make it worse for us, though, because I 100% agree with you. This man, Draymond Green, is on Paul George's podcast talking about when KD got there, I stopped shooting. So after KD left, I never got back to working on my game. Now that they need me to score, it's getting hard for me to get back in the rhythm. So how is Steve Kerr hindering your game, Draymond? Wow. It's content, Goo. You said the exact same word, and Steiny, you explained it well why he's doing it. He's an emotional wreck because he knows if Kerr's gone, he's probably out of here like last year.
Wow.
And that's the decisions that's making. And you just said something while I was on hold, Scott Steiny, that you're 100% right. Is Steph will sit it out. If they go to a new coach, Steph will sit there and see what they do with Draymond and Jimmy and the pieces they come in, because he can play with anyone still, whether he's the number 1, 2, or 3. So a lot of this is what's going on. You guys have been cooking. I agree with you. But Draymond wants respect. You got to act like a Hall of Famer for us to respect you like a Hall of Famer. So I feel bad for Kerr, and that's all I got to say today. You guys keep cooking.
Hey,
Thanks,
right on,
Christian.
Chris.
Appreciate the call. This is what Christian is talking about. This is the Paul George podcast from a little while ago.
It's also interesting to always recognize when you're not good at something, right? Yeah. And someone else in your orbit is. Yeah. Like, let them do that and let this person do that. Because that's a real sign of a leader, I think, is being able to deputize.
That's why there's a lot of unsuccessful people and a lot of dumbass. You can tell by the criticism that comes to you or the criticism that comes to you. I've found that solace in that over the last couple years. And just like listening to people and what they say and the criticism, it actually shows you how stupid people are through their criticism. For instance, people will say, Draymond, you should shoot. But if I can get Steph Curry the ball for a shot, why would I shoot?
You should never shoot.
You're actually the idiot for thinking I should shoot because I can get him this shot, and if he's half open, it's better than anyone else in the world if he's half open.
And people using that to kind of point out a little bit of being a hypocrite there, maybe. Draymond saying, I'm going to make the right decision.
Right.
And, for somebody like Draymond Green, who prides himself on playing the right way, it's going to fly in the face of when he says, yeah, maybe I should have been a better offensive player if I would have had a different coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I should have gone to Scranton University. Like, who cares?
Yeah, no, well, like you said, Scranton. I'll say this to you and that. I've told you and you all at least 8 times that I thought Kerr was staying, thought he was staying. We went out there to see him. I think he's going, he's staying, he's going. Now I think he's coming back. I do, because if it was that bad and they had this last meeting, it would have been announced, this relationship can't be saved. That didn't happen. But I will say this to that, talking about Draymond, that chilling, what I deem chilling video and the optics of Mike Dunleavy in that hallway in Phoenix, not talking to Dre when he got ran, I could be totally off the mark, and it wouldn't be the first time, and it's okay. But I really believe, to me, that was the organization or Mike D saying, you just wait. You got one more, and that's it. And I could be totally wrong. That could mean nothing. But, Steiny, I thought I saw something in Wiggins' eyes. I didn't. But what I saw from Mike D and Dre that day, I thought was telling.
888-957-9570 is the number. Here's the latest on what we're talking about and why. The latest report is, Steve Kerr has met with the Warriors. He's going to meet with them again next week. And it feels like he's open to coming back if he and the front office are aligned.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Draymond Green dropped the podcast where he talked a lot about Steve Kerr, gave him some compliments along the way, but also said that you could make a case that in some ways Kerr hindered his career. Said he never had a play run for him in 10 years since Durant came and the time now. So that's why we're talking about Draymond Green, and that's why we're talking about how these dominoes fall for the Warriors, because the Kerr decision affects Draymond, and the Kerr decision affects Curry, and then the Draymond decision affects Kerr. And if Draymond's not here, does that mean Kerr's more or less likely to be? There's a lot of stuff that interlocks is the only word I can think about.
Let me ask you this. Which one, if you had to put it the tippy top, and I think I might know your answer, which one is the most important out of the one you itemized? Like, what do you think is the most important to the franchise of all those moves on that list you talked about, or the possibilities?
It's funny because I was thinking about this the other day, and this is part of a shortcoming I have.
Oh.
And it's an inability to become overly emotional in these kind of decisions. And here's what I mean. On the one hand, well, the biggest decision is Kerr, right? I mean, is Kerr coming back or not? Because that could dictate things. By the same token, even though he's been here 12 years, he's won 4 titles, is a great coach, and we may be coming to an end of an era, I still have a narrow view of it, which is, what difference is it going to make if Kerr's coaching this team next year or not?
Well, the 30 part of it, now you got me thinking about Steph Curry.
It's about the team, and they got, I'm sorry, but Steve Kerr deciding to come back for a year, 2 years, or not at all, that doesn't change the agenda in the offseason of we got to get better. And there's no coach who's going to come in here, whether it's Steve Kerr next year or somebody else, and win with this roster the way it is. I don't think. So I get it. We could be at an end of an era, and it would stink because Steve Kerr's such a big part of it and everything, and I get it. But the reality is I don't think Kerr coming back or not coming back materially changes the task at hand that they face.
Yeah, but when you talk about a fading dynasty, if you allow me, and you talk about the one character or two characters that are gone, Klay Thompson and Bob Myers, those were big departures, and a lot was said about them. Each one is their own way, but when you talk about the main characters, the head coach is a main character to me. And just from an optic standpoint, I mean, how surreal would it be to watch the Warriors and Steph Curry coached by somebody else?
Well,
that is, I get what you're saying. Like, Goo is not going to change him from a 5th, if I'm understanding you correctly, from a 10th seed. That's going to be the personnel. But it is, this dude's held this job down since 2014.
Well, you seem to suggest, and I'm not sure I agree, that Kerr is in a different stratosphere than Klay Thompson or Bob Myers. I don't know that I'm going to necessarily give you that. Klay Thompson was one of the big three.
Oh, right.
And they moved off him.
But let's be honest.
Bob Myers was theoretically the architect. A lot of people think anybody could do Kerr's job. I'm not one of them, but what I'm saying is, Bob Myers was supposedly the architect of this, so that when he left, that was a big loss.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Klay. As big as that was, and as many calls and yes or no's on Klay Thompson, the rat on the table brought to you by ATCO Pest Control is, had Klay remained Klay, that whole thing would have been like the 1906 earthquake, his departure. But some were trying to push him out the door because his game and his body had failed him. So now they looked at him like, he was a minus. So I bring that up because it was easier for some people to let go because Klay wasn't at his superpowers. But imagine Klay being like Durant when he chose to leave and not come back. That hits different to me. So the Klay is different.
Well, I think the Klay's different because he took less money to leave somewhere else. I mean, the Warriors offered him a 3-year deal for what, 16 or 18 a year, something like that? Yeah. I forget. And then he took less to go to Dallas. So that tells me that as great as Klay Thompson was, they were not willing to overpay him, at least in their mind, because of how he became as a player.
Right.
They're right there with Draymond right now, I feel like. No, you're not getting an extra year. You're not. In fact, go ahead and opt out if you want more years right now, because we can't give you more years. We love you, but we can't give you more years. And I think they're basically doing the same thing with Draymond that they did with Klay. It's like, here's what we think's a fair offer. You think we're lowballing you. Okay, then go get more money. Well, I can't, but I'm mad, so I'm leaving anyway.
That's not
you know what? I think they hope Draymond. There's no doubt the Warriors would love for Draymond to say, you know what, I'm mad, and I'm opting out.
That's how I believe. But Dre's too smart. And I just,
Right. But is he? Okay, fine. I'll just opt in.
Where would that come from?
Draymond Green has opted into his contract with the Golden State Warriors. 2 days later, Draymond Green has been involved in a trade. He doesn't want that either. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, an Odyssey sports station, always live on the free Odyssey app and now broadcasting from the Laughing Monk Studios.
When you say it like that, I'm like, damn.
The other thing that I think is a factor here is, yes, Bob Myers, when he was the GM, developed a relationship with Draymond Green over a decade, and they obviously became close. And I don't think Mike Dunleavy's got that with Draymond Green. I don't. I mean,
and who's to say that's not what ran Bob out of town? I'm just saying what we all. Oh, what a beautiful relationship. How do you know that wasn't so overbearing as well for Bob? But I hear you.